All right, so here is the floor in all its almost glory. Welcome back, everyone. So we're back for another day, and actually it's just later in the day for me. I finished filming just this morning, and yeah, so where we left off last time, we had just finished painting, and I had recoated this room with a more appropriate color, and yes, this is the right one. And yes, in fact, that is purple, and I don't care. It's fine. We know it works. We actually had this exact same color in another house, and Xana really liked it, so we wanted to recreate it. And yeah, what's cool about this, I actually showed her, it actually changes color depending on the temperature of the bulb. And I think that's what messed us up so much with the previous attempt. We never actually tested it in this room with the bulb we wanted. So that's over there. And coming over here, the stairway, this turned out great. And this is a real night and day difference. The drywall isn't exactly perfect. It was very rough what I was dealing with. But it came out great, I think. I still have to replace the frame around that door. We'll get to that when we get to that, but it will get done, of course. And lastly, where I'm ready to go, we had finished painting in here. So I got a little bit of buttoning up. I've got to just screw down all these conduits again. I just undid a few things to make it easier to work. But once that's done, I'm actually going to start in this room right now because we've got a bit of drywall mess. I got some concrete that needs to be chipped away in spots because we're going to be tiling in here. And then spots like this, that's just from when they poured the floor. This is something that kind of splashed up. That'll chip off, no problem. Yeah, the drywall. And then I'm actually going to etch this concrete. And that's going to be the totality of the prep. But there is one other thing, and this was almost an afterthought. I have these drains. This one I might have to clean out a little bit. Might have to clean both. But yeah, it's not supposed to look like that. So I'm going to get those reworked at the same time, and I have new drain covers, and I'm just going to throw some new pipe in there, tile up to it, and the drain covers I got will just lock into place over top, and we'll be good to go. So that's the goal here. So let's get cleaning. It's going to be a little bit here just cleaning this concrete. And once this is clean, actually, because I'm going to be etching it and then I got to rinse it a number of times. While it's drying, I'm going to hop upstairs and quickly get the rest of that LVP in the bathroom upstairs because that won't take very long. That'll get that out of the way, and then the LVP will be complete upstairs. That's all we've been waiting on. So once that's done, we're down to finishes, getting the vanity in, the toilet, you know, the mirror, all that stuff. And once that's done, that's one of the last pieces to getting this final inspection, and this laundry room is as well. So in the laundry room, there's not much that has to be done. I got one GFCI missing here. So this isn't actually hooked up. I know it looks dangerous, but it's not hooked up to anything. It's just waiting at the moment. And yeah, it's pretty much all done. So I have my condensate off the water heater just dripping into a bucket at the moment. I still have to run a drain line. I haven't run it yet because we're not 100% sure what we're getting as far as a laundry room sink. Once I know about that, I can run all these lines, and that's not an issue. So let's get to it. So the other one's fine, but this one doesn't actually have an outlet going anywhere. I have a feeling this just goes straight down into the ground. I was wondering why there was two in here. Now I guess I got my answer. So I'm actually just going to bury this one. It's completely unnecessary. It's also all busted along here. I don't know. This might have just been like a gray water drain of some sort for whatever reason. But I'm going to throw the other one because that goes directly to the sump pit. So that'll be well enough. So that's what I'm going to do there. All right. Ooh. All right. So that's always a little bit of work. And now, so in here I got a solution. It's a very mild etching chemical. So it's nothing super serious, but I'm going to scrub this into the floor real good, back my way out, and then I'm just going to let it sit for a few minutes, come back and just rinse it off with a mop. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let that do its thing for a little bit. Come back and rinse it off after I go put this bucket somewhere that the dog can't find it. So we'll be right back, and we'll get it rinsed off. And after it's rinsed, it's going to take a little bit longer for that to dry up, so I'll get the dehumidifier running down here, and then I'm going to hop upstairs and do that floor. So let's keep going. So my goodness, it's late. It got late, very late, but we did get it done. Oh, I didn't meet all my goals, but I did get this floor in, and it's looking pretty nice, pretty tight. Not gonna have any issues there. I'll probably throw that vent cover on right away after I turn the camera off, just because I can. So, heading downstairs here. So I'm leaving the dehumidifier running just because I poured some relatively thick mortar joints here. So I put a new collar on there, and I got a new cap to go over top. So the reason I left it like that, the cap I got, it can rest on top of the tile. It's a snap in. So I'm going to cut that flush after the tile's up. Really convenient way of doing that. I can grout right up to it. Got that mortared in, and it's sitting pretty solid in there. And then over here I did cover this one up. So other than that, turn that on. So it's looking pretty nice and clean. It is still wet in a couple of spots, just a little bit, not a big deal. Not really any need for a third rinse. I did give it a second one, and it's looking pretty good. So tomorrow we're going to be on to tile. I'm out of here for now. And yeah, I'm going to get lots of rest because tile's a lot of work a lot of times. This shouldn't be too bad. It's definitely not going to be nearly as much work as we put into the bathroom. That was crazy. That was a lot of tile, a very odd shape, and you know, doing some kind of odd circumstances in there. So yeah, no, that was really extensive. What we're doing in there, it's very basic, very simple. Tying into that closet, that's a little bit of a challenge, but it's mostly just a logistical challenge, because you have to plan laying those tiles in such a way that you don't get trapped. Sometimes you just, you know, lay them with the expectation of finishing the next day after everything's set up. I'm going to try and get it done in a day, and we'll see how that goes. I'm usually ambitious with my goals, so fingers crossed. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Sometimes I get lucky and reach my goals. It's very rare. My goals are usually way above what I can actually get done. Not that I see it, you know, 20 years or so doing this, and I still don't have that kind of foresight for some reason. I can foresee a lot of issues, but I can't foresee not getting the job done for some reason. Anyway, this is probably going to be about halfway through the video with Ray, so here's our little CTA. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell button. Do what you got to do. Just hit all the buttons, and yeah, we'll be right back at it shortly. All right, so we're right back at it, and we are ready to go. So this is all looking really good. I'm going to give it a sweep, and I'm going to strike some lines in the ground. I'm going to use a laser level, but I don't have one of those fancy 90-degree corner ones. And I also want to start in this closet because with any luck, I should be able to get this all done tonight. But if I start out in the open, there's no way I can do the closet without, you know, damaging what I put down. So I'm going to try and start in the closet. That's going to take a little bit longer than the rest just because there is some actual cut work here. And it also means that when I start my first line, I'm going to actually start it along here, going down, and then I'm going to figure out 90 degrees coming up here. And in terms of in the closet, it's not a massive area and it kind of stands on its own. I'm not super worried about getting a 90-degree line as long as I go tight to the nearest tiles. It's going to be close enough. It'll be perfectly fine for that. So let's get to it. All right, so here is the floor in all its almost glory. So, still got a can here. I could pull that away though. I have had a bucket propped up here in the meantime to accommodate the condensation, but that's going to be getting done real soon. So, I say almost in all its glory because I still have to take care of spots like this where the mortar did poke through. That's not going to be too much to get cleaned up. Once that's cleaned up, we're going to get this grouted, and then we'll see it in all its glory. But you've been with me this long. While I'm getting the prep going, go ahead and hit all those buttons. Lots of them. It's like being at the casino. And yeah, let's keep at it. So now before vacuuming everything up, we've got this drain to contend with. So first things first, I don't want want to completely dull my blade. I think it's a new blade I got on there, so I'm just gonna take some of this mortar off the side of the pipe, just all the way around. There's still some blade dulling action there. Let's see how she sits. Just a little bit of that going down here. That's pretty nice, just like that. So, that's beautiful. All right.